Jason Goodman attended what he thought was a doomsday preppers meeting, which is bizarre in its own right.
Yep.
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's out
Yeah,
the norm,
it is.
especially for you. Only to walk away feeling more confused than ever of who you are as a person.
Do you remember I told you that I was over a place during Easter? I was playing cornhole.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
One of the people there, I started talking about like how fragile the world is, like I normally do, and this and that, and how we have to be prepared. And
Finding the darkness in the light.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
And that person took an interest as well, and he was talking about even possibly one day getting a bunker.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh yeah, and I mean, I have these iodine tablets at home, and if the radiation comes, I can take the tablets. It blocks the radiation.
So y'all matched craziness.
Well, he definitely is
intelligence.
He's definitely different than me.
Yeah.
Definitely more outdoorsy, and probably would survive a doomsday scenario better than me.
Yeah.
But he had an interest, and he's like, wow, I should invite you to a meeting that we have monthly about like-minded people.
Oh, he was already a part.
Yes.
He's already a
like,
part of this. Yeah.
Oh, because everything we just talked about was all to do with prepping and doomsday. So he said, I should invite you to a meeting of like-minded people, and it's, people like us to discuss things like this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, as you know, yesterday I'm like, hey, I just got invited to this meeting, with the I Can Go. I asked her, I'm like, what do we have? I think I'm going to go to this meeting. I'll learn more about, prepping. And I sent a text to you guys. I'm like, oh, cool. I got a meeting tonight about this prepping thing, which you thought was weird, but that's okay.
Yeah. Just different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Yeah. So anyways, he's like, well, click on this link and put your name in. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's an invite type thing. And there's only a certain amount of people that can go. So I registered and put me down, my name and everything like that. I'm like, all right. So I get home yesterday and I look at the address. I put it in my GPS and it's pretty far out. It is Stokesdale, Jared.
It is. Okay.
But does Stokesdale go to Rockingham County?
I guess part of it does, because I know when I was looking for houses, I want to stay in a certain school district, and then I was like, oh, these houses are way cheaper. It's the same area. And then I looked at school district. I'm like, oh, that's why.
Give me a
that
town.
a bad area?
Give me a town in Rockingham County so I can know what you're talking about.
Stokesdale.
But
Probably
what
Madison,
else is...
maybe.
Oh, Madison. Okay.
Maybe so.
All right,
I'm not
got
100% sure.
All
Okay.
right.
Or Walnut Cove. I get those all confused.
Okay.
I think it starts out in Stokesdale, Guilford County, but then it goes to a different county.
And I'm not taking a dump on Rockingham County. It's just for whatever reason, the significantly cheaper. And a lot of it is because of school districts.
Oh,
yeah, but cheaper is not always bad either.
No,
I mean, if
but
you can
I'm
live in that
saying-
area at a cheaper, regardless.
But I was excited, and I was like, not the school district that I wanted.
Eden's in Rockingham.
Eden.
Reedsville, Eden, Madison, Wentworth, Stoneville, and Mayodan.
So Stokesdale's not in it.
Yeah,
it doesn't
is.
say on Google.
It is in it because it says Stokesdale, but it says Rockingham County.
Okay.
Either way, you're driving far
Anyway,
away.
So, yeah, we go out, and I'm looking for what I thought would be maybe kind of like what do they call those? Like FOP lodge things, or like those fraternal, how they have those like fraternity type places.
Like an elk lodge?
Something
Elks
like that.
Lodge,
Something
or...
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the GPS says here, I'm very rural road. I see somebody standing out kind of in the driveway, and I pull in. I'm like, hi, is this whatever the address was? Yeah, this is the address. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I said, well, this looks more of somebody's residence type, but a nice, very nice layout of a residence. So I'm like, okay, well, here I go. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, I'm not sure exactly what to expect. And as I pull in and I'm reading, summarizing what this meeting's about, it's nothing to do, it doesn't say anything to do with preppers, but it does say it has to do with like discussing different propositions. I'm like, huh, interesting.
I'm confused. Propositions about what?
Like, it could be anything. It could be a political. It could be economical. It could be anything to what basic. Actually, the true definition is it says it's to discuss issues of morals, politics, and natural philosophy.
Okay.
So I'm
And
like,
you don't ever say my life is boring. Yeah. This is what you're doing on a weeknight.
Right.
Okay.
I did not know.
Don't ever say.
And you didn't do any of this research before you RSVP'd?
Nope.
Okay.
So
Got it.
I pull in.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, there's the guy that invited me. Oh, he brought his wife too. Okay, interesting. I'm just here
Has
by
night
myself.
fallen by this point?
Dusk.
Okay.
Oh.
Just trying to get a picture, mental picture. Got it.
So I'm like, okay. And I saw all these people start pulling up and they're parking down this long driveway. I'm like, okay. I'm starting to get a little antsy, a little nervous. that I'm not going to necessarily fit in or what's this about. And then we go into this nice, beautiful home. It was very like an olden style rustic type home, but very nice, very clean.
Oh, you're a fan.
Significant. And we go in, and then I find out this is also a full-blown 4-course meal.
What?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh!
I'm like, oh gosh. I mean, do I take out my debit card? I don't know. What's going on.
Wow.
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
It's all covered. All right. Okay. So
No red flag there.
then
You're done.
all of a sudden, I'm starting to meet various different people, kind of like mingling in the maybe the foyer kind of area, kitchen area.
In the lobby of their home.
Yes, basically, yes.
Yeah.
And all different people, and I'm shaking hands. I'm meeting. Where are you from? What do you do? All that stuff. And the person I was with said, "Well, let me explain the rules of this." I'm like, "Rules?
Rules.
What rules?"
When do your
Where I
pants
go,
come
there's-
off?
Yeah, do you get naked?
Yeah, when do the pants come off?
I was like, "Huh."
Did you put your keys in a bowl when you got there?
Phones must be locked in this box.
Right.
So yeah, that was a little different. So I'm like, rules, and like, yeah. So here are the rules for this, and you're supposed to. They're gonna throw out a topic or it's more of a proposal or proposition type thing. Maybe I'm not saying it like right, but it's more of a statement that you can agree or disagree, and you can say your theory and thoughts about why it's maybe true or not.
Does everybody have to go? Like, do you raise your hand? Is there a leader of this meeting?
At this point, I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, okay, interesting. All right, well, I guess I'll just go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? And like, okay, down to the basement. I'm like, the basement?
Oh
And
no!
I'm like, I don't know anybody here. I don't know one person here. And I know the person that I was talking about the doomsday scenario with. And I know him kind of well, but not as well as the rest of his family. You know,
Not as well to like trust him to go down to some basement
To a
with a bunch of
basement.
strangers. Yeah.
With a full belly.
But I have been at this person's home and with his entire family. They're very good
Okay.
people. And he invited us to Easter twice now. We went there and we have a great time. But I still had that back of the mind, back pocket suspicion thing. What's going on here?
I think Oprah Winfrey really made it the law that you learned you never let somebody take you to a second location.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
You know, and
That's-
here you are walking downstairs to a second location.
and
Yes.
Usually bad things happen in basements.
So we go down into the basement.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in North Carolina, when I think of a basement, and where I'm from up north originally, a basement is surrounded. There's basically, it's 4 concrete walls. And in North Carolina, it's typically, a basement tends to be on a kind of a hill where it's surrounded by, 4 concrete walls. And then there's the back part of it opens up. So it was more of a basement like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm
With
saying?
a way out.
Yeah, it was. There's windows on one
Where's my
side.
exit?
Windows.
Got
So
it.
up north, you can't get it. You don't go out the back of the basement because
You cannot.
It's landlocked.
It's landlocked, but usually there's some kind of like a door that's on the ground that you can push open up.
Okay.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay,
saying? But
okay.
not here. There's an actually physical door that you can get out if you have
I
to.
see. Yeah.
And I'm like that naturally because I'm always wondering if in case there's a fire and this and that. And plus, when I get down there, there's candles all over the place. And
Oh.
Very
Lit
bunker-ish.
Another red
candles.
flag?
Lit
Yes.
candles?
there is a
Ooh.
full-blown, big, in the basement, which I've never seen before, fireplace. Lit.
Okay.
So they
Lit.
are setting the mood for the
Oh, yeah.
sacrifice.
Yes.
They roll out the altar at some point.
So
Are you a Satanist now, Jason?
95% of me thinks, okay, this is cool. I know him. I've met people. 5% of me says, you never know if I'm just going to be handcuffed and attacked and bound and something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
And everybody's really nice at this point.
Were you drinking wine?
Nothing. at this
Nothing.
point.
No alcohol.
Kool-Aid.
Well,
Kool-Aid.
you could.
Do-
Yeah,
okay.
they had every kind of drink there. You know what
Every
I'm
week they try to sucker someone into come and sacrifice them.
saying? So I'm asking different people. I'm like, do you come here all the time? Some people there has never been there. Out of the 20 people that were there, I would say maybe 5, 6 never have been there. A couple people have attended a couple times, and then maybe the rest come every month.
Okay.
So I said, okay, this is interesting. All right. So all of a sudden, there is like a head guy, basically, that comes down. Very nice, by the way, but he comes down and starts explaining how this works, and we're going to discuss a proposal or whatever in between each course, and there's a timer on it. And he said, these are discussions, and that with people here that have all different backgrounds, politically, religiously. What they do is very different. There's very old people to even younger people. So it's very mixed, and there were women there.
What?
Oh my gosh!
Get out!
They let them vote on this stuff.
You should have ran.
But they're there just serving drinks, right, and food.
Yeah.
They were stoking the fire and resetting the table.
Actually, there were a bunch of women upstairs in the kitchen preparing this humongous
Wow.
meal.
Someone's got to cook it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the orgy.
There were a couple women in part of this meeting, and some were couples, some weren't. It was just all different people.
Did you say how many total people you think were in
20.
attendance? 20.
20.
Okay.
About 20, I would think,
Okay.
at this very big, long table
Mm-hmm.
with the candles on it and everything.
Okay.
And so the guy comes down and starts explaining what this type of meeting is, and it's a society, I've learned,
Oh.
called the Junto. Is it Junto? Junto Society, or club per se.
Okay.
That was established in the 1800s by Ben Franklin.
What the hell?
It's like Freemasons.
What?
Ah.
And
Is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Basically, this meeting was established. They would meet years and years and years ago to establish these views for the betterment of society and mankind.
Oh, also known as the Leather Apron Club.
Correct.
The
That is
Leather
correct.
Apron Club.
The definition is a group of people joined for a common purpose.
Yes. And
All
they do this for the betterment of society. And apparently, this discussion has also started the first fire department and the first volunteer military,
Okay.
per se.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Interesting.
all right, cool. So
I was a volunteer firefighter once.
that's true.
I can get behind this.
People bring also their own proposals or a topic, and the head guy will accept it because there's going to be there's like maybe 5 to discuss, and each of them have a timer of 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm like,
I
oh.
like the timer.
Yeah.
We need that at some of our meetings.
And part of the meeting also, which I thought was very good, was if you know, there's going to be lots of differences of opinion, and don't ever attack the person. You can attack the topic, but not the person. Then they also established the fact that some people could just be making devil advocates claims. So you really don't know who believes exactly what you're saying, because they're trying to make it so they're not, one person's not getting attacked or something like that over there.
Can we make that a rule on
Wait.
our show that we can attack the topic but not the
No.
person?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's impossible with
No.
you.
Unless I'm getting a 4-course meal, the answer is
Yeah.
no.
I'm looking here like the rules of the
Mm-hmm.
Junto Club. It says no disrespect allowed to one another.
Okay.
Never talk about Junto on the radio.
Don't say Junto.
Yeah. It says do not disrespect a person based on their religion. Do not condone violence against anyone. I feel like those 3, Jason. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
think
Hey,
you can-
you're already out.
It's gonna be a
I don't
struggle.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
They obviously don't pre-screen very well.
Yeah, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3.
Don't disrespect anyone. Respect all religions and don't condone violence.
Yeah, that's not gonna work for you.
How did you get the invite? Is this like a dinner for schmuck situation where they bring like the person who's the most opposite of the group and make fun of them?
Funny that you say that, Matt. The idea is to get the most diverse group of people that have completely different opinions and different ways of thinking and beliefs, and that's the object, is to hear that.
Okay, so the object is not to then convert you to the
No.
way that they think.
Nope. Nope.
Okay, because I could see
I
how
don't
that would
think.
be a way too. Like, hey, let's get everybody who has differing opinions than us
Yes.
and bring them here and then convert them to what it is we believe.
That's always possible, Katie.
Yes.
I didn't feel that way, but it's very possible.
Okay.
There was a lot, I did notice, though, a lot of religious undertones from, I think, the majority of the group, including the head person. A lot of that, which,
I mean, you're in the South. I mean, you're
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're at a meeting for people who want to better their community. I'm not surprised by that.
yeah. And then when the first question came out, which was very ironic to me, because it was about the resurrection, basically.
Oh, that you just learned about.
We are,
Yeah.
we are near Easter, yes.
Yes, and it was about basically how it's the resurrection and redemption is basically intertwined within Western civilization literature. And basically, that was the statement per se. And is it? Is it the norm that's all intertwined with the literature? That's what somebody proposed. And why? And this why. So everybody like offers these opinions on why. of course, immediately in my head, I'm thinking I go to the agnostic point of view, and I'm immediately like, well, that's because people want comfort and hope, and maybe they're just not there. That's what I think.
Like, get him out of here! Heretic! We don't really believe these rules anyway. Screw this guy.
And also, in the back of my head, I have to say, anytime I comment on any of these topics, I got to realize I got to tone it down because I don't know anybody here, and they're going to think, and it's possible, he's way out there.
Yeah.
Way out there. So I said,
Okay.
I want to participate to show that I'm engaged. At the same time, I can't say everything because people will start turning. So, and people aren't supposed to judge you. But anyways,
The humans, yeah.
everybody, so all these topics were done, and we had this 4-course great meal. And then the last topic was basically a subject of, are humans really superior to animals, or are we all just animals? Basically like that. And the rights of animals, and immediately I'm thinking,
Oh, we're just.
I have some thoughts.
exactly. And they start talking, but I'm like, I gotta hold back a little bit here because this is gonna be bad. And they start, make basically the philosophy of what makes us different than animals. And I mentioned the fact that I thought, well, I think the biggest difference in what it is, the intelligence part of it. I was more based on intelligence. Somebody else said it's dignity that separates us. And some people might not think that. They think we're just all part of the same and animals, and we're really no different than a tiger. In fact, if you look at a tiger could actually have more dignity than we do because a tiger just gets what they need, and that's it. Okay? But I'm going down this intelligence path. And then I wanted to bring up the fact that we could just be ants.
Oh,
boy.
please
But you
don't.
didn't, right?
Not
Yeah.
the
Well,
first
you
meeting.
do it.
Not
Do
the
it.
first
Don't
meeting.
say ants. Don't say
Yeah.
ants. Don't say ants.
No, not the
Yeah.
first meeting.
And
No.
in my thinking, I thought to
Oh.
myself, we really could be just like nothing and just the same thing as an animal, a lot more in comparison, because something else could be out there looking down at us like we're just a bunch of ants and we have no idea.
They're like, are you that guy on the radio? Oh, wait.
Who invited him? You've been you're likewise kicked out.
This is how you become a heavy hitter in the Leathern Apron Club. hit him with the.
Yeah, that's
Ants on the
right.
first.
Yeah.
On the first one.
Yeah. Get this man an apron now.
Give him the head apron.
Judging on how you're all reacting right now, even about the statements that I was thinking about saying, I decided to not say the
Oh,
statement.
thank God.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Wow.
thank God. Best
Should
decision
have
you ever
done it.
made.
Should have done it.
It's the best
Ironically-
decision you made last night, brother.
Ironically, I would say after about 10 minutes of the 15 to 20-minute conversation before the timer goes off, the head guy brings up something about ants.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, he does. But he
Nuh-uh.
basically didn't say what I would have said, or he didn't compare it to what I would have compared to. He just basically says, it's just like, I don't think, as a human species, most of us, even if we stepped on an ant, would everybody just be okay. We'll go out to do that for no reason. And I'm like, very close. I was just about to mention the ants a little bit more than you would have said.
You should have.
Yeah, and basically that's how it boils down to. And this basement was almost like a tavern. There's a tavern called the Tun Tavern in Philly where a lot of groups used to meet, like with Ben Franklin and all these, I guess, early geniuses, you could call them, or very
Like
founding
founding.
or made huge contributions to society. And
Yeah,
yeah.
and he has like a piece of the stone from the original from what I got, and then
Wow.
all these other kind of things that made it look like it was from like the 1800s in a tavern.
Interesting.
Yes, and so when the meeting concluded, I went around and I thanked the guy they were all still in deep conversation after the meeting. And the head guy, which stressed me out once I found out, 10 kids.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
10 kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do this? How do you even, including, I think, an 11th one that was adopted from Ecuador
Wow.
that they found, from what I understand, in not the best scenario situation, disregarded almost.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
They adopted him and took him back to the United
Okay.
States.
That's nice.
Okay.
And he kind of made a point. Here's the religious tone again of it's funny how he, a lot of people might think that, to him, maybe God saved him by bringing him to the family. And to me, and he also has Down syndrome.
Okay.
And to me, it was God that brought this to me. It was God that did this for me because it's such a joy to have in my life. That type
That's
of thing.
wonderful.
Yeah, it is very wonderful. And then finally he came down, and he was very cool. The kid, cool. I gave him a little hug and stuff like that. everybody around the table.
Jason, this is okay. All right.
And
I
then-
like this side of Jason.
Well, I had no choice. He just hugged me.
Well-
but I thought it was very nice.
Did you clam up and just like stand there with
No,
your arms
I
by your
thought- no,
side?
I didn't. I hugged back. And
I don't have a leather apron yet.
I
Like in
can't do
Step
it.
Brothers where they try to hug at the Catalina wine mixer.
it wasn't an odd hug because my arm went around my
Yeah.
shoulder to hug him from behind. Regardless,
Anyway.
anyways, the guy that I was with, who was sitting right next. Oh, by the way, let me say this: the people that I was with, it was everybody from a professor at App State, all the way from a C-suite person at a major corporation to a photographer. All different backgrounds. I mean, and that was the idea of it too. But the guy that I was with told me that he actually played cornhole with the son, the Down syndrome son, and he was like, "Hey, he started off taking it easy. The son's so good, he beat him immediately.
Oh, nice.
They bonded. They formed a bond.
Instantly beat him." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So, anyways,
Are you going back?
I don't know. After I got out of the meeting, I started, and thanked everybody. The wife was very nice. Her name was Rachel. Made this, but it was a whole team of people and everything. It was kind of like the game Clue. It was like there was a professor, there was the
The candlestick in the basement.
Yes, it was. Anyway, so I left, and I'm just like, what did I just attend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting something completely different. Now, did I enjoy it? Yes, I enjoyed it because it was very intriguing. It was very different and unique.
No, it's
and
very unique.
There was a sense of even oddness to it.
No,
That-
yeah.
That I was all about, and then I'm just trying to process it. As of today, I've never
the
been
texts
in,
we got last night were very. I had me very intrigued.
Scattered.
Yeah, I-
Very
Like,
scattered.
you didn't know what to think.
Uh-huh.
I still don't know exactly what to think. I'm like, what is this? And then behind the actual meeting itself, the Junto Club, which was established years ago, and this guy encourages other people to do it. Behind the meeting itself, when I look at that, is the organization that puts on the meeting a whole nother set of questions. It's just a different way of life that it's intriguing to read about and to see, but it's just different. I didn't even know existed in society, to be honest.
Do you think now, after you've had a little bit of time to think about it, and process it, although it probably will take time, that you would go back if you were invited?
So it's a monthly meeting, and apparently you can invite or you can just come. I was invited though.
Yeah.
And hopes to come back. I don't know. I'm processing the whole thing because I'm still in the curious stages of what just happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Sure.
and it was very different and odd. So it was so different that I didn't even think this stuff like exists in life. That I'm intrigued by it. That's all.
Well, no, I mean, and
Yeah.
it sounds like, it's probably, in theory, it would be a good thing if more people got together that from different backgrounds and discussed important topics and just heard other people's opinions instead of the echo chamber that we all are in.
In a
Well, yes.
civilized situation
sounds like
where
it
there's
is.
somebody who, yes, but that rarely happens. Like it would
Oh.
have to be something organized.
That's
Right.
Katie just nailed it. It's definitely an organized civil way because they're very big on attacking the topic and not the person whatsoever.
Yeah.
And they, a lot of this has to do with his big thing. I guess the lead guy was like, everybody is getting disconnected from each other. We need to have more people come together at the dinner table, more people on the
That's true.
porch connecting as human beings. And we just were talking about
Yes.
this yesterday about
Yeah.
the dating thing where people aren't even going in person on first dates. And he's like, and less behind social media and less behind that because it's disconnecting, it's separating us further apart. And it's okay that we have all these different backgrounds and philosophies and meetings if we all can get together and somehow out of the different thoughts and philosophies, that's the better of mankind and good comes from it.
As
So-
it's being presented from you on the surface, I like it.
No, I do too.
A lot.
Yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
what's so crazy about it is I had no idea. It's like
A little,
when-
bait, a little bait and switch.
Do you
a little
know?
bait and switch.
little
It's
bit.
almost like when
Yeah.
I took you
Yes,
to the.
I thought the same thing.
What is it? The
The multi-level,
multi-level
the Zeke
marketing.
rewards
Yeah.
thing.
not
Jason-
multi-level. That was a pure Ponzi scheme.
Well,
Yeah.
it was presented as a
but
multi-level.
I got you there by saying it's free. You know what I'm saying?
It's free lunch, which I should have known I didn't know Jason at the time that well.
And no
And he's
matter
like-
how many times Jared hears free lunch, he's never gonna
I'm
like,
never
learn
gonna say
his
no. I'm
lesson.
like, no, yes,
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go in somebody's basement for a free lunch, and we get there, and then there's some Ponzi scheme that we didn't know at the time presentation. I'm like, okay, and I signed up.
And the behind the meeting itself, who puts it on, they do different things too. And I'm just kind of researching this. It's a homestead like there's a little tiny house they're building in the back. There's different sections of the property. There's even from my looked and saw there was like a whole big garden that people can just
Come and
get.
Did anybody else who was at the dinner live on the property?
I believe a couple of the sons were there.
Okay.
I don't know for sure because I mean, this just happened last night. I got home at 11 o'clock to now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can. And there is a foundation behind it that seems to be a religious undertone of Christianity. And it's so there's a lot to it.
Sounds like there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
We do have someone from, what's it called again?
Junto?
Junto Society that's on the phone. Good morning.
Good morning to my favorite morning show. You're speaking to the leader of the Worldwide Junto Club.
Oh,
Is this President
Trump?
Hello?
Is this President Trump?
Of course, who else would it be calling your show? Who would it be? Who else would be the worldwide leader? I'm the greatest world leader ever, so why wouldn't I also take this over?
Yeah. So you're the head of the Junto Society and the Leather Apron, what used to be called Leather Apron Society. How do you feel about Jason being a part of this? Because you seem like you have strict rules about, although
respect.
Interestingly enough, respect and not attacking people personally.
And no violence. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Well, the plan, of course, has always been to bring someone who doesn't necessarily believe, doesn't fit in, doesn't have the norms. We bring them in, and we make fun of them when they leave. Unfortunately,
it's very possible.
Makes sense. We invite them in, and we end up giving them an apron. But no one's apron is as great as my apron. It's the greatest of all time. Ask anybody. Ask the person that made it. They're going to tell you it's many cows went into the leather of Mr. Trump's apron.
Okay.
Would you like Jason to come back to the Junto Society meetings?
He's bringing awareness to the Junto Society, which I like, which I appreciate. He's probably going to get me more votes, which is always needed to try to combat Sleepy Joe in the upcoming election. Sleepy Joe, by the way, no aprons. Doesn't wear an apron. Cooks sans apron. What kind of psychopath cooks without an apron?
Well, thank you, President Trump. Who knew? Who knew you're part of the Junto Society with Jason and the Big Apron or Leather Apron Society? And all right.
Huh.
Thank you for taking
Absolutely.
time.
Jason, when I see you at the next rally, we'll do the secret handshake.
I kind of felt like that, actually, but yes.
Did you learn one while you were there?
I did not.
No. Okay, maybe that's the next meeting.
Part of me when I'm there is like, are all these people in on it?
Yeah.
And I'm just outcast or not?
Oh, yeah, the 5 are acting like it's their first time, but it's really they've been there like multiple times.
It was almost like that movie, was it called Get Out, where you have the guy there and everybody's real nice to him, but down deep down inside they wanted to cut out his organs or something like that.
Hypnotize him, put him to sleep.
I know it's not, but it's always in the back
Yeah,
of
when
your
you
mind.
don't know the people.
Exactly.
You have no idea.
And I didn't know what I was getting into.
Right.
So there was no talk about prepping anything? Nothing.
Huh.
That's
a
a
bait
little
and switch.
odd. Yeah.
It's a bait and switch.
Uh-huh.
I need to talk to your friend. He's very good at the bait and switch.
That's odd.
And the Ton Tavern is the birthplace of the Marine Corps.
Is that something with that?
The Junto Club, it's had the first established like the first volunteer military. So there's a close knit to that too.
Okay.
I don't know if they met at the Ton Tavern or I know that Ben Franklin met a lot at the Ton Tavern. I don't know if these meetings were there or not, but there's a big association with it.
Well, and then it sounds similar in a different way, but Amazon, and there's different groups that do it. They call mastermind meetings, and they bring people together that own different Amazon stores or whatever.
Yeah,
and
that's the modern way.
And they all share like what works, what doesn't work, and it's just it's not a competition thing. It's a sharing of ideas to be the most successful you can be in that specific industry.
That's exactly that's like the modern way of doing that. However, this way is making sure that it was very diverse from culture, from races to religion to political views. They wanted it to be the most diverse from social economic standings, all that stuff. They just wanted the ideas to be very diverse. Where, to your point, Jared, that is the modern way of doing it, is like big
networking and
big mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very interesting. Let us know next time you go to the Big Leather Apron Society.
He'll be going back, I think.
Or the brown.
Really?
I think you're so intrigued.
Yeah, I am intrigued.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do a topic about like fake boobs or real boobs.
Blonde hair or brunette hair.
Set the timer for 4 hours. And he attacks everyone who disagrees.
Or heels.
Right.
Like, who brought this guy?